Boutique. I have been promising you guys a turkey wreath for quite some time now, and if I don't do it now, it's gonna be past Thanksgiving. So let's get started and let's do a turkey wreath. What will you need for this wreath, okay? I'm going to use the 14-inch Dollar Tree frame plus a 10-inch frame. If you can't get a 10-inch frame, you should be able to do a 12-inch frame and just set it on top, okay? So that will work too. But I'm going to do a 10-inch and a 14-inch. So there's your frames. Nothing expensive there, okay? Then we're going to use just burlap ribbon. This is 6 inches by 10 yards. You can use the 5-inch. You could use the 4-inch if you want. It's really up to you. It depends on, I'm hoping that these 2 rolls will do the whole wreath, but we will see. I am going to use some plastic canvas. I don't have that up here, but I will show you that in the next clip, how I put that in. For the tail feathers, this is really kind of up to you. You don't have to use exactly what I'm using here, but I have some of this in my stash, so I'm just going to use several of these. I got these at Hobby Lobby, and it's kind of late in the season. I'm going to pull that one out probably. But you could use fall leaves, feathers. You could do whatever you wanted. But this just kind of gives you an idea of what I use, okay? I also am going to use something kind of like this. I'm not really sure what it's exactly called. I get it at Hobby Lobby, but we're going to use this for the feet, as well as these leaves I picked up at Dollar Tree. They're just burlap leaves that have wire on the back of them. If you only have burlap leaves, you could always add a glue and some wire and make them bendable, which is great. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer the 2 to kind of make the feet. So that's what we're going to do there. So for the hat part, I just pick up one of these hats from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to show you how one hat will get you 2 wreaths, okay? Because we're going to cut it down the middle here. These are normally $4.99, and I believe they have them all year long, and like right now they're 40% off. So it's just a couple bucks for that. And then you're going to need some black ribbon. I'm just going to use what I have on hand, and some yellow ribbon. And then this is 3/8 of an inch thickness, but honestly, if you have some that's like 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, just use what you got, okay? And then just use your favorite ribbon for the bow, and that's all you need. And some zip ties or pipe cleaners, whatever you like the best. I will also cover this with some felt on the back. So let's get started. So what I did was I just took my 14-inch and my 10-inch, and I zip tied it together, as you can see, on these spots. And I took a piece of my plastic canvas. If you're watching me for the first time, know that I use a lot of this. So this is a good thing to have on hand. This is the 5 mesh, and it's very pliable, and it really makes a difference with all of your wreaths, because you can use a simple wire wreath frame for just about any wreath you want to make, and it's very inexpensive and it's lightweight. So how are we going to do our base? Well, I'm going to leave a link for a wreath that I showed how to do a while ago, and it is just the pull-through method, and this is the method I'm using here. So I'm just going to take my burlap, I'm going to turn my wreath frame over, and I'm just going to gather it and find a spot where I can connect the burlap to the wire wreath frame. Okay? All right. And this is really similar. If you've ever watched my pumpkin tutorial, I will leave that link as well if you haven't seen it, how you can make your own pumpkin wreath. Really simple. I'm going to turn this around because I don't know, I have this thing where I do it a certain way in my mind, and I got to stick with that. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up, and we're just going to make a loop, and this loop is about 4 inches long. And then I'm going to go to the next frame and pull up another equal section to that loop. And then we're just gonna keep going until we get to this middle section. And we're just gonna keep pulling up those loops. And then we'll work our way back. Okay, so as you can see, the look I'm going for here. And I'm not going to worry too much until I'm done with this whole wreath. I'm not going to worry too much about the middle. And the reason why is we're going to have a bow there. We might need to put a few loops of this in the middle, but by the time we get it all done, we're going to see if that's even needed. So I've got it to this inside section here. So now I'm going to go the opposite direction. And just make my loops. I'm not twisting anything, I'm just pulling through a loop. So you can see. Now, I am going to tell you something here. If you feel like you need to push everything over and say you don't have enough room, you can always use a zip tie to connect this to this frame and do another loop in the same section. But since I have some more room here, I'm going to just kind of push things over and we're going to go back down the same direction. The key is just filling in the spots, if that makes any sense. And you may need to go back and forth and add a poof here and a poof there and just secure it. You could just secure it like right here. I could just secure it with a zip tie and add another one in the same section if I needed to. So, just going to keep going. Okay. We just want it to look like it's filling up. So you don't necessarily have to fill, you don't want to crowd it too much because you want to make sure you have enough burlap to do the whole wreath. But I'm just going to keep going here. You know, if you wanted to make like a white burlap snowman, you could use the same technique for that as well. So I kind of like how this is looking, okay? So I'm just going to go right back up, and I will probably come back and fill a spot here, but basically I think you get the understanding is that you just are going to keep making loops, and if you need to have 2 loops in the one section, just secure it with a zip tie and pull another loop through and then go to the next spot. So I will be right back, and I will have this whole wreath full of burlap. Okay, so as you can see, I have the whole wreath covered with burlap. Yes, it's pretty large. You're looking at just the base of this wreath is going to be about 22 inches in diameter. So yes, it's already a bigger wreath. If you wanted to make a smaller wreath, I would suggest using like a 12-inch and an 8-inch frame, and those are frames that you can pick up at your local stores. The 10-inch is kind of hard to find. I can really only find it on places like consumercrafts.com. But I just wanted to show you and just take a moment to show that I did not add anything to the middle of this wreath. And because it covers it pretty good, I'm not going to add any more because we're going to have a bow here. This is where we're going to attach all of our feathers. So you don't need all of that. So I'm going to come back and we're going to work on the hat, and then we'll get back to putting this turkey together. So let's make the hat. Okay, so I'm going to use the Hobby Lobby one. It is a larger hat because we're making a larger wreath. But if you haven't watched my snowman video that I put out last week, and if you haven't watched it, make sure you do because you're going to enjoy it. I use these little stiff top hats that you can get at consumercrafts.com for about $1.50. I don't know, maybe $1.50, $2 a piece. And you can cut these in half too. So if you're making a smaller wreath, you might want to just get these because they are really super cute. And I know that Joann's and Hobby Lobby sells something similar to this as well. So, but today we're going to work on our Hobby Lobby hat. So this is made out of foam, so all I'm going to do is, really it's up to you whether you want it this angle or this angle. I like this angle personally. So all I'm going to do is just take my scissors and I'm just going to carefully cut down the middle. And then this way you have an extra hat. You could use this for a snowman too, if you like to make snowman wreaths. Okay, so now we have 2 hats, okay? So we don't need both of them. So I'm gonna put one to the side. And the next step, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna take my glue gun here. I'm going to, let's see, just measure how much we need. Okay, so we need about that much. I'm just gonna cut it here. Okay, so in the middle of my ribbon, and this is, I think, about 1.5 inch wide ribbon. You could even use wider ribbon if you wanted to. I'm going to put a little, you know that little gold buckle that they usually have in a pilgrim's hat? That's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to cut 2 little things. Going to do it in the center here. So I'm just going to lay it where I think it's the middle, okay? All right, you can see what I'm doing here. Be careful with the hot glue. I'm just going to use a tiny bit because I don't want it to run through the ribbon too much. Just put it through. And yes, I'm overlapping, but I'm going to trim those off. So let me do another one here, and again, just a tiny bit of glue. I don't need a lot. Okay, so I got that part. So at this point, I'm just going to get my scissors and I'm going to trim it. And you could glue it back as well if you wanted. Okay, so now we need to go across, and I'm just going to cut, I'm going to be more precise with my cutting on this one. I'm going to trim that just a tad. Okay, better doing it. There we go. Wasn't very straight. Okay. And this is it. There's not a whole lot of technical difficulty to the hat. This is about it. And then when we put it all together, we will actually attach it with some zip ties to the frame itself. So I'm going to move that over. Okay, and then one more piece. And we will have our buckle, so to speak. Okay. My nails kind of help because all right, come on. maybe not too, okay, hold on. I got it attached somehow here. Okay, by a stray piece of glue. Just got to be very careful. And you can get those little fingers, those glue fingers, that will help, you know, protect your fingers. Okay, so now what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that that's in the middle. That looks pretty good. And so I'm going to put some glue here. Oops, I need some more glue in my glue gun. I love this glue gun because it's cordless and it's just really handy. Okay, let's make sure that's still in the middle. Yeah, pretty much. There we go. So now I'm going to add some more glue over here. Okay. All right. Okay. And you could put a little bit of glue behind the buckle if you wanted, but that's pretty much all there is to the hat, so that's pretty simple. So I'm going to put this to the side, and now we're going to work on the little feet. What would you call a turkey's feet? Okay, I'm at a loss. So we're going to just take these, and this is what's nice about this. It already has this nice wire, and this was a new find at Dollar Tree this year. I have not seen these until this year, and I really, really like them for just all sorts of different things. So I'm just going to find 2 spots here. I think that's a good one, and I'm just pulling it off. Let's see if this one's good. And you can add more of this if you want. I'm just going to add 1. So all I'm going to do is just take a little 4-inch zip tie and zip tie it together. Okay, that's it. So now we've got our feet, our turkey feet. We're just going to call them turkey feet. If there's a better name for them, let me know in the comments. I don't know why I can't think of it. But are you guys getting ready for the holidays? I'm getting ready for the holidays. My customers are getting ready for the holidays. Not only do I teach you guys how to make these, I teach other people how to make even bigger wreaths like Christmas trees and angel wings, and those are called premium tutorials, and the links for all of those will be in the description box below. But those are like the higher end wreaths that I make, and if you are interested in one of those, I have some Facebook groups that go with them where I teach even more on those subjects and those tutorials. But all right, I think that's really cute. We've got our feet and we got our hats. How cute is that? Okay, I'll be right back. So I'm going to use my Pro Bow the Hand to make the bow for this wreath. You do not need this to make a bow, but if you like to make bows, if you like to keep things consistent, in my personal opinion, this is the best bow maker on the market. I'm going to leave you my affiliate link below. But I'm going to show you really quick how easy it is to make this bow. If you have a hard time holding the ribbon with your hands in any way, you will be glad that you invested in this. And Christmas is coming, and this is a must-have item for Christmas. I'm just telling you right now, it's a must-have. So I have my ribbon here, and I'm just going to gather up my ribbon. This is a real stiff burlap that we're going to use. So I'm just going to take my wire and I'm just going to wrap my wire around a couple times. Okay, that's it. So the important thing is that we go clockwise. Okay, so I'm going to take my wire and go the top wire above on the top part. And then I don't know if you can see, I have a little nail hitting, coming out. So I'm going to take that in with the bottom wire, and I'm going to wrap it around the nail. And then I'm just going to push my little wire underneath the board. So we're going to start by going around this first finger. These are called fingers. And we're going to gather it, and then we are going to flip it bottoms up, so that we have to turn the ribbon because you can see the wire on one side. Okay, so I'm going to put one loop here. I'm going to come back to my base, and at this point I can just, you know, move my hands and it's not going to come apart. And I'm going to gather it or pinch it and then bottoms up so that we turn the ribbon the right direction. Now for this one, I'm going to do 2 loops on each one. Now if you had you had 2 spools of this ribbon, you could just put 2 pieces of ribbon and just do this once. But since I only have one, I'm going to put an additional loop on each finger. I'm going to gather it and then twist it up. Okay, and this is pretty stiff ribbon. This ribbon, usually I don't deal with this stiffer ribbon, but I like that this will keep its shape. So we're going to go to the next finger, gather it, flip it up, gather it, and flip it. And we're going to put, again, 2 loops on each of these fingers. Okay, so we got 2 there, so we're going to do 2 here. So 1, okay, gather it, trying to keep it. And put the second loop on each finger. Now, on these last fingers, I'm only going to put 1 loop. Alright, so there's our loops, okay? And then I'm just going to twist it again. And then I'm going to add our tail here. And I literally used the rest of that. So we'll just cut it out here. And then we'll have some extra tails to do with whatever we want. Okay. So I'm going to take my top wire here and unravel it. Okay. My bottom wire. Okay. And this is where you can just really twist it really good. Okay, I'm going to bring it up. Let's see here. If you have a fluff box, you can use your fluff box. I didn't get mine out today, so we're just going to use our hands here. And this is pretty stiff ribbon here, so, but I want a nice stiff ribbon for this. You can use whatever ribbon you would like. This is just what I would wanted to use in this wreath. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, you're just going to play with it a little bit here. See here. Till you get the look you want. And I just love that it just keeps all of these loops consistent with each other. All right, so our bow is ready. So we're back and we're going to assemble everything together. As you can see, I have you up a little bit higher so you can see kind of my messy area, but you know, every crafter is a messy crafter. I don't know. At least this crafter is, let me tell you. So I'm going to take 3 of these, I don't know what you would call them, they're just like, to me, they kind of remind me of feathers, so I'm just kind of putting them on top of each other. I used these 2 colors and an orange one. Again, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to find these, Let's see here. But if you find something similar to this, that's okay. So all I'm going to do is just zip tie these together. That's all there is to it. We're just going to zip tie them. Okay? And I'm going to just pull really hard. Okay, so you might want to trim them up a little bit once you get them on the wreath. If they're going kind of all different kind of directions and you don't like the direction, just trim it up a little bit. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to cut that off. So, all right, so like there's some pieces up here that are kind of bent to my taste here. I don't really. All right, so I think that's good. So that's all I did. So if you want to use something like this, some leaves, I think too, I had this idea when I was making it. I think that I'm going to kind of show you here. Put this in. I also think if you use different colors of these and you just kind of went, you know, different colors, you could just keep going underneath there and you could make the tails with the different colors of leaves that way. I think that would really be pretty too. So again, Dollar Tree is where I found these, and they do have other colors. So let's put our, let's see, our feathers. I'm gonna look at my wreath here. I think that looks good. So I'm gonna just take it and I'm gonna find the middle here. And honestly, I'm gonna run through, instead of cutting all of this, I'm going to kind of run through the actual frame itself, okay? So we're going to go through a spot here that's open, and then I'll show you what I'm doing here, okay? All right. So we want them to kind of stick out because these are the tail feathers. Let me show you what I did. See what I did? That's what I did. So at this point, we're going to put several, and you can bend these a little bit if you want. We're going to put some zip ties down here. I'm going to put it through the plastic canvas mesh first. And just secure it, okay? And then, I don't think that's going to go anywhere, but as a precaution, I'm going to take it and I'm going to secure it on this underside as well. Underneath, it's going through one of these wreath frame brackets, just to give it a little bit more security. Pull that over. Okay, so there we go. So now let's put on, let's put on the feet of this little guy. So I want to kind of have, you're just going to kind of look at it. So I'm going to kind of place this right here. See where our bow is going to be. Yep. So I think I want it to be like right here. Okay, so I'm going to just take we're going to use this wire off of the actual leaf. And I'm just going to wrap it around the outer wreath frame. And you just want to do it just enough so that you can still see the little leaf, because you want to see the feet, so to speak. Okay, there's that. And you can even zip tie some of these up, these loops, so that it'll show a little bit better too. So I'm going to put the other one right here. Man, I'm wondering if I should keep this guy for myself. I don't have a Thanksgiving wreath. So I think that's really super cute. I love the little feet here, okay? So let's work on our hat. So all I'm going to do is, and you could take zip ties, you could take, you know what I'm going to do? I think, or a wire. Let's use a wire on this. So I'm going to take a wire. You can use zip ties, you can use pipe cleaners, whatever you want, okay? And I'm going to just put a small hole in the hat right there on the edge. I'm going to run the wire right through that hole. Okay, I'm going to grab another wire. The wire will go through all of the burlap really easily as well. Again, just put a hole. Now, I want to preface this. Wreath is not my original idea. This became popular 4 or 5 years ago when I first started making wreaths. Somebody made one and everybody was making them. So this is just how I make mine, and I just kind of wanted to share it, okay? So I'm going to just run it through here and see if this will work. I feel it. There's that one. Okay. And we're just going to run the other one. I'm sorry I'm being so quiet. Just trying to find it here. Okay. Let's see. Let's run that through and see. Let's flip it over. Trying to find that other wire. Of course, when you're trying to show everybody how to do this, it doesn't want to work. Yeah, it bent on me here. Okay. Come on. It'll come. Goodness gracious. It doesn't want to work. Oh goodness. It keeps bending on me. Okay, I got it. All right. So let's see. Yeah, that's gonna work. So I'm not going to attach it too tightly, because you can always tighten it. I just want to make sure it works first, okay? Gotta move our feet around. But I think he works. There you go. So that's the hat. Gotta get all the glue. You know how glue just kind of hangs around and then you find it for days? Yep, that's what hot glue does for you. Okay, so we've got that. So now we want to add our bow, which is the finishing touch. So I'm going to just run it through that plastic canvas, and then we'll trim up all of these, the tail. So I'm just gonna, this is gonna be a little bit easier than the actual hat for some reason. That was a little bit harder for me. Okay, so let me bring this over. There we go. Okay, one end of my wire for my bow was a little bit shorter, so I'm trying to make this work here. And I'm not pressing it down too far. And I don't want to press it down too far because I don't want the bow to sink in to the actual wreath. I want it to still pop. And then I'm just gonna, you know, play with the bow a little bit. And yeah, guys, that's it. That is your turkey wreath. I think he's super cute. I'm not sure exactly how I want to leave these tails, if I just want to go like this, because you know once you cut them, it's done. So maybe move this up a little bit. But as you can see, we didn't need to add a bunch of burlap to the middle because the bow was going to cover it, and you can do all sorts of bows. I have a bow. If you've watched the lamb's ear wreath, there's a simple bow that you could make to do that look. You really could just do whatever you wanted. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut it right here. Call it a day. So, what will I do the back? I am going to cut a piece of felt and I am going to cover it with felt, and this guy will be ready to go. If you are new to my channel, make sure to like and subscribe and let me know where you're from. I always like to know where my viewers are from. Share this on social media. Follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm all over the place. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this simple DIY wreath for Thanksgiving. See you next time. Bye-bye.